Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. This is a POV ladder cast. Recently, just a couple days, haven't been uploading as frequently because just been busy. So thought I would try and get a video out quickly tonight. And I had this game against ThomasHiatt on a map I had not played before. So let's see what happened. So actually, I kind of want to go back slightly because what I want to use this for is to explain. Oh, actually, I'll just let it play, but I want to explain how I do a build order. So on almost any map, I don't have a build order that I remember and just use. I just try to make one up, see how it goes, and that is good practice for when you actually come up against a new map where you haven't ever played this map before this game, so I have to make up a build order on the fly anyway. And because I do that pretty much every game, it's going to be a bit easier. So first thing is, actually, let's slow it down a little. So the first thing is to look at the map and see what are the features of the map. So actually, let's pause here and we can see the map. So we have a hydrocarbon that's kind of distant. We have 3 starting mexes. We have a pool of reclaim nearby. We have 3 more mexes just a bit outside the base. And then other features, we have 2 large pools of reclaim in these. See the dark craters are basically full of rocks that are worth about 10 mass. There's a lot of reclaim in those big pools of mass, so in those big craters on the left and right. They're the main features, and then the mexes are quite spread out. You don't really have them in bases, so that's sort of everything to know, and it's just a 10x10 land map. So with that information, then you sort of decide how to play the game. So first thing, you're obviously not going to do some transport rush. You probably want to do third air, I would say, because you're going to get that hydro not straight away, but a bit afterwards. And you have reclaim so that you can get 3 factories quickly. And yes, so that's why I'm going to go second land, third air, and get the hydro a bit later. Not going to rush for it because I'm going to use my build power with my ACU at the start. Because I have 1 engineer reclaiming, 1 engineer expanding to get a mix, and the other engineer is assisting my ACU so I can spend all the reclaim I'm getting. And you see the build pretty good so far. So now I realize that if I want to get my hydrocarbon at the same time as the air factory, I'm gonna have to send more engineers. So I have 3 engineers going to the hydro now, and that will basically mean that I get the hydro at the same time as the air factory finishes. So that's probably going to be too much power in hindsight, but so far I'm doing pretty decent. You can see I have like 700, 800 reclaim and I have about 350 in the bank. So a lot of that reclaim got used. I used it pretty well. Didn't stall anything. I might stall a bit of power. And I'm going to use these mantis. So I'm against ThomasHiatt and he's Aeon. And I am UEF, or no, I'm not UEF, I'm Cybern. Also, that P-gen after the Hydra was a mistake, unfortunately. Didn't need that much power for sure. So I'm going to make another air factory because I have quite a bit of power. Let's run out another factory until I run out of mass. One thing about this build order, I think I probably should expand faster with engineers, get mexes a bit quicker. I maybe focus my build power too much in the base. But that's kind of minor, I think, at this stage. But still could be improved. And now I'm going to send engineers straight down. The most important point I'm going to go for is a crater on the left. I'm going to aim for that that reclaim, those large reclaim piles are going to be the main point of difference on this map, pretty much, because they're just big pools of reclaim. So if you can get your reclaim faster than your opponent, if you can deny his for a long time, use yours better, that's all good for you. My lab got a kill, got an engineer kill. I'm overflowing power, so yeah, not great. Not great there. The Hydra is so juicy. And yeah, you can see here, my expansion to mechs is kind of slow. So with that, I'm running out of mass. I've run out of mass. I stop building power, instead get those engineers to build or to assist my air factory. It's a good way to balance your economy. If too much power, stop building power, get those engineers assisting an air factory. Just don't forget to start building power again. So I saw his transport thanks to this lab, and the scout that went with it, it actually showed me that he had a transport going north. So he's actually making transport quite quickly to get to that reclaim. So he's obviously very invested in the reclaim as well. So we're going to do some air micro, try and win air. I should be able to win air because I have, well, 2 air factories and he made a transport. So pretty confident with my interceptor numbers. And I only stalled mass a little bit. And we're just going to go after those engineers, try and stop him getting that reclaim. Bomber comes out of the factory. And we're doing really nice raiding. So because he's Aeon, I don't think I actually got around to mentioning this, although I was about to at some point. Because he's Aeon, he has the slow T1 tanks. So I'm going to get across the map a lot faster with my Mantis. And it's going to give me an advantage, especially on a map where you have to have your units spread out to defend and attack all the mexes. Because the mechs are so spread out. So you can't really just defend a base. If there is just, say, like 3 bases to fight for, 4 bases, then it would actually be better for the Aurora because they can get into position, just defend. They don't have to be mobile and move around a lot. But on a map like this, you have to kind of defend everywhere with the units, and that's a disadvantage for the Aurora, I think. Although they're still very good. You can't take advantage of them. So I ran over here. I actually killed all of the engineers in that reclaim pile that he had sent there, that he dropped there. He built a PD, but the PD is not a good defense because if the engineers just move slightly away from the PD, then they can be killed by the Mantis. And my bomber also helped, so now we're going to try win air again. He's going to run. I think he's going to run away. Oh, he turned back. And you can see vision, sort of not good for me, but still I have better numbers, I think, and good enough micro. So he goes down, and he has another transport. So we're going to go after that. And I'm not going to be able to kill those engineers, I think. So we're going to add more air. Because this map is very spread out, air is going to be very nice. Spread out mexes, the more spread out the mexes, the better air is. Because if you want to actually build static turrets to defend all these places, it's obviously going to be very difficult in comparison to, again, having bases to fight for. So it's pretty critical difference between those kind of maps, the base kind of maps and the spread out mechs kind of maps. They do favor different things. And I have a factory over here. I'm doing pretty nice getting this reclaim. And right now I already feel really good. So I'm raiding this bottom part. You look at my mirrored location. He's done no damage to me there. I have won some air fights. And basically from this point I feel like I should win the game for sure. Just from the early game, just doing damage, denying reclaim, winning air fights, and getting these raids off. And also I have T2 mechs and he doesn't have any T2 mechs. So yeah, from this point you should be able to recognize that you're ahead and then just think, don't give it away. Don't get sniped. and just keep doing normal stuff. Keep staying ahead in economy, and should be doing good. So yeah, how I do the build order is yeah, understand the features of the map by just looking at it. Press the control shift so you can see where the reclaim is. That's often going to be the most important thing that happens or that you see on the map. Is on a lot of maps, if you just see that big reclaim pile, you have to go for it, you know. And yeah, understand how you can do damage on different maps. So on a map with spread out mexes, I mean, going for those early mantis and then doing air stuff, it's going to be really good. You don't want to lose air on a map like this and get destroyed by gunships, killing all of your T1 mexes all across the map that you cannot possibly defend with mobile anti-air. So this was kind of bad fight, so we run away. If you can, it's good to run away from air fights because a lot of times people are not on point with their turns, so you can actually just turn and then instantly try and retreat. So I saved a fair few indies there. A lot of good, not a great fight though, still. And yeah, so from now on, it's just sort of, it's just about not throwing away a lead. Oh, another thing about not throwing away leads, spend your mass. Don't leave it in storage. Make sure your economy never falters too much. You don't want to be in some massive stall that can throw a game for you. Bad stall at the wrong time, or too long of a stall. So we're just gonna go to T2. We have T2 land. Decided to go for T2 land because then I can make flak and T2 air. I mean, I felt like my land was doing really well, so, and he had just one air, or had just showed that he had more air than me, so I thought T2 land would be better. I'm gonna want T2 land anyway. Still getting some raids off. And yes, so maybe learn something about the build order there. Maybe I did not explain it well enough, but really I think it's a good idea for people to try and do improv build orders because the whole game really is, or ought to be, improvisational. Some people have insane long BOs and, well, you know, you put them on a map that they haven't played and they're just going to absolutely shit the bed and play 800 points lower than their ranking. And that's not really much fun or very interesting. And it's just not very good. You're just not that great a player then, to be honest, in my eyes. But, you know, so yeah, I think it's a good idea to just try improv BOs and you will learn a lot from that. So yeah, as I said, from here it really should be guaranteed win. It's just an exercise in maintaining a pretty sizable advantage and not getting sniped. So making flak for my ACU, and oh yeah, when I get to T2 land, I actually make Wagners. I don't go for rhinos. Wagners are actually quite good in combat. Not as good as rhinos, but they are actually quite good. Unlike, say, if you compare the Blaze to the Obsidian or the Yenzine to the Ilshavo, you know, there's a big gap in what those units can do because the Blaze and Yenzine are amphibious, or sorry, hover units, and the others are just land units, so they perform much better in normal land battles. But for Cybern, the Wagner is actually pretty close to the Rhino, but it's a lot faster. Now, it has less HP and more DPS, but also is a lot faster, as well as being able to travel on the seabed. Makes it very difficult to spot when it's traveling there. And yeah, so I go for the Wagner because of the speed, and I can go raiding because that's really all I want to do. I'm not going to have some big standoff land battle or anything because the map is so open and the mechs are so spread out. You really want them just to run around and get some kills, and I can send them around to do that and send some flak with them as well. And also, there's not much land being made in this game, really, so I just need a few Wagners to get some kills, do some raiding, be annoying, keep him honest. So he's trying to do some damage with his air now. Just dispatch a few inties to kill the gunship. Don't want to send all of your inties. It's really not necessary. It's a big risk, especially when you're chasing into unknown territory like there. His entire interceptor and swiftwind force just appeared next to that gunship. I would never have seen it coming. So I lost like 2 inties there. No big deal. My economy did actually get a lot worse. My economy management got a lot worse. Started having a big stall after I made, basically after I made the T2 pigeon. I should have recycled some T1 pigeons, those ones in front of my base. And my economy would look a lot better. This is a strange drop of attempted T1 drop of 4 Aurora. And I thought he was going to push with his ACU there, I think. Something like that, so I built some T2PD. Anyway, I think I'm going to speed this up because it's not very interesting. Because I'm so far ahead, but I did want to show you sort of how I did a build order. Yeah, what else can I say about the build order? Well, so I went for third air. I think I mentioned this because I can get 3 factories quickly. So if you can only get 2 factories, say you had this same exact map, except you didn't have that reclaim pool next to you on the left of my base, the lower left. And here, actually, just to interrupt, I get wrecked in air. So that was actually very bad. I think we had actually very similar numbers there, so I could have microed and fought that, but instead I ran away and lost half my force for free. So that was, I thought he actually had a lot more than me there, but turned out it was quite similar. Oh, certainly a mistake there, and the danger, you can see the danger of moving too close to the edge of your radar radius with your inties. This whole force just came out of the fog. So yeah, so if you imagine I had it's the exact same map, but there was no reclaim pool, then I could not get 3 factories very quickly. So then second air becomes a lot more useful and more important, because then you can't just instantly have that inti out to deal with that bomber that comes out, you know. So that's one consideration. And then for knowing how it's going to balance is really a lot just experience, I would say. And knowing how much stuff costs as well helps. Helps a bit, but generally I think just experience and practicing making build orders on maps and sort of trying to recognize the features of one map in the map you're playing. So drawing parallels between maps you sort of know how to do a build on and maps you haven't played before. You can find the similarities and use them to plan your build. For example, a lot of people know the Loki build, where you use the trees to make factories with a lot of speed gens. I mean, that's just obviously it's very possible on many maps. Many maps have a very similar similar way of working. And yeah, so this game, it's again, I just have a lot more map control. I could scout more, but I kind of saw what he had already. He sent a lot of gunships around. I was killed some mexes for a time, but I expanded, re-expanded again. He didn't really gain the map control. He just did some raiding on some T1 mexes, no big deal, and it cost him a lot of gunships to do it, so no big deal. I also sent my ACU home a while ago because no need to be in the middle of the map, especially versus some Aeon who really wants to gunship snipe you or mercy you or any number of terrible things, or just run at you with a double gun commander shield. Chrono maybe. So I have T3 land now. Gonna make some loyalists for a similar purpose to what I made the Wagners. Do some raiding. If I can get some kills, you know, with some mexes, and just have a decent army versus whatever he has. And of course, keep making lots of air and make some flak as well. Try to avoid losing any advantage. So you want to, any imbalances are not good when you have a lead, a decent lead. You don't want really, usually you don't want in 1v1 to have a lead in one area and then have a big lead in one area and then a small lead in, or that your opponent have a small lead in some other area. You kind of want to get control of one area, say the air, and then take control of everything else after that once you get control. So say if I have a far superior land force, I mean, if I let him have air control, then I'm always at risk in some way to that air. So say I get ahead by using my land and I have a lead, then I want to actually make sure I'm not behind in air anymore. I want to equalize that at least and even get ahead there, and then basically get ahead in all areas. So better land army, better air force, better economy, and then from there you can't lose. But if you allow your opponent to have some different advantage than you have, and you don't correct that, then it can bite you. So make a T3 gen. I can't really make a T3 gen now, to be honest. So you'll see in a second I'm going to make some T2 gen instead. And I'm trying to do some raiding, kind of feeding a bit of mass here to his commander, but no big deal, getting some raid off with the lawyers. I think this is sped up, isn't it? It's surely, I'm not that fast. Yeah, so great economy management here. Can't build that T3 gen at all. So we just pause there, make some T2 gens instead. And actually I left one guy making the T3 gen as well. And hopefully we won't stall for too long. Get some SAMs in the base. Yeah, you can see this is full on don't lose the game mode rather than win the game mode. You see, you don't really need to win the game because the game is already won. You just have to not lose. And then eventually you'll win. If you don't lose for long enough, you will win the game. That's a very important tip to know. You can't win if you lose, so just don't lose. Then you can win. You probably will win. So yeah, nothing interesting here. really. Just moving units around, upgrading some mexes, making some T1A turrets, just in case, you know. I can afford to build those and defend some mexes from crappy gunship raids. I'm just gonna keep making loyalists. I could switch to bricks, but I kind of don't want to. Loyals are fine, and the speed is nice, and it's nice to get them across the map quickly and also react to where his harbs are going and stuff like that. And T3P gen gonna be done right about now. Seems pretty late for T3P gen, as it usually is. That's one of the things I am always late doing, is making that T3P gen. One day I will I will get rid of that flaw, but not today apparently. Oh yeah, this is also in the new patch as well. This game. Oh, and the map is made by Bloodir. Pretty new map and pretty nice. Nothing special about it really, in terms of gameplay, I would say. But looks decent, well made. Yeah, nothing too special. So I reckon people should be able to figure out what to do on this map, even though it is a brand new map. So again, yeah, this game pretty much over. I'm just gonna make T3 mexes. I haven't even scouted his base, which is kind of bad to be honest. But oh, we do some GPG style interceptor scouting now. I really just, these are the kind of games where you don't really want to do anything to win the game, because it just entails risk. Like there's almost no risk for me in this game. I don't see any way to lose, so I don't really want to do anything. Because why would you do anything? A lot of people, I think, lower rate players don't really know what to do, and they're like, oh, lower rate players never know how to end the game, really. And then some higher rate players don't know when to just not end the game and just just keep going, you know. But the main thing here, why I'm able to just keep going and just, I mean, I'm aware of what he's doing. I'm making enough air, I'm making enough land, making more eco than him, and I have map control. So it's just, he really has to do something very, very special. But he also just shows me what he has. So he showed me those harbs, and I killed them with gunships. He showed me his gunships earlier to do raiding, and they didn't do much for him. And so I never really have to wonder too much about what he has. So I have T3 air now. I made T3 air pretty late again, I think. Another problem of mine sometimes. Being late on T3 air. Funny that that goes hand in hand with being late on T3P gen. And now we finally scout his base. See T3 mexes. It's fine. And that's probably double gun, double shield. ThomasHiatt does love his double gun, double shield commander. And first shield, of course, as well. Double gun first shield works. So we're gonna try to do some damage. We're getting bored at this stage. Maybe we can attack, do some damage, kill some stuff. So I have Loyalists, Medusa, and quite a few flags, and also some MMLs just for the lulls. Having some cyber MMLs in your army is pretty nice, actually, to be honest. They have such a fast fire rate that like they will actually hit a lot of shots if people aren't watching. So this is a terrible air fight. I just suicide a lot of air over his base there. And this is why you don't attack when you're just miles ahead. It's just kind of dangerous. I just dumped loads of mass on his base now from all that air. Also making a spider with its, well, nerfed build time, but still seems to be working fine. Building at a steady rate, but I'm actually not mass stalling. I should have more NGs on that for sure. Needed to build more T3 NGs. Getting some raiding done. Trying to take as much of this mass back as possible so that he doesn't get all of this mass I just dumped on him. And I also retreat with my loyalists because his commander appears on the line there, and I have no interest in testing out how many loyalists I need to kill that. That's just not it's not worth testing right now in a ladder game where should be a guaranteed win. Don't really want to give him any way back. So we just retreat and run across to the left and try and attack there instead because, well, AC is slow as fuck and my loyalists are quick, so I can just change where I'm attacking. Keep ecoing. At this point, you don't really have to be afraid of where you eco, really, because, like, what are the odds he even does any damage anywhere? So I can just eco loads of T1 mexes all over the place. It doesn't really matter too much. And we'll scout now. The Monkey Lord's just about done. Definitely should have had about 5 more T3 NGs on that. Would have been nice. More power. Continue the economy. There you can see the MML is actually doing damage, killing some stuff. Like, they have such a fast fire rate, it's actually unreal. That's another obviously great fight for me. I just have way more units. Blah blah blah. Not very exciting. FTX is probably wondering why the fuck I haven't won the game yet. I'm just kind of wondering why he's still in the game. So I'll make another spider bot. Seems reasonable. And I have TML base in mid. So, yeah. It's sort of strange feedback on the balance patch. Just a real lack of vitriolic hatred is sort of unnerving. Not ready for this. Hopefully you can send some of that my way. Posted in the forum. I will eagerly await. So after making this Monkey Lord, I was sort of thinking, well, when I see his ACU, then I'm thinking, oh shit, he can do 15,000 damage with one overcharge, and he has like as much HP as my Monkey Lord does, and he has way more range, you know. So I get pretty scared of this Aeon commander when he shows up. Let's see what happens. We're going to move to the right with the Monkey Lord and the Loyalists. Scout overhead just before we get there. See what's there. So he has an Omni, so the stealth field is not doing anything. Stealth field of the monkey. Wasted a few ASF there. I see he has his own ASF. I don't have radar coverage. None of this is ideal. The beauty of the 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 MML there just had enough range that it could take out the Omni sensor. That's so nice. Gotta mix in those MMLs for Cybern. And then I'm sorry. So okay, I make some Corsairs because Corsairs. You can always find a use for Corsairs. And we try make a nuke as well because I don't really want to just. I don't know. I just feel like it would probably be decently quick way to end the game at this point. It's already 37 minutes, which is like way too long. He's just trapped in his base the whole game, really, or a lot of the game. So we'll make a nuke. He only has a base. He definitely is not going to make an anti-nuke. And I'm just too afraid of the ACU, honestly, to go after him. I mean, I could well have probably just gone into the base at some point and won the game, but could also just chill and wait for him to control K or disconnect. So, yeah, send me feedback on the balance patch. Send feedback on the new map pool. Send me what else? Let's see. Oh, we'll have the player counselor elections soon. TM, if someone can do the voting. I think Rackover is going to do it. Has promised to do it. Don't know if promised is the right word. But yeah, she's supposed to be doing it, I think, and maybe it'll be done on time, maybe it won't, we'll see. I think it's scheduled for voting to begin on the 4th of... No, wait, don't. I'm not gonna just say it and get it wrong. But yeah, there's a what's new post you can see about it. Gives you the date. Yeah, maybe it is the 4th. No, I don't know. Don't listen to me. Just read the post. Yeah, so game is coming to a close. The nuke is on it's over halfway. Oh no, not even halfway yet. So we have 2 spider bots, bunch of loyalists, bunch of TMLs under stealth field in mid. And it's time to start killing some stuff. Start doing a big attack. Queue up the nuke. A lot of people actually don't queue up nukes because sometimes they go in the wrong place. When you queue them up, sometimes it will just not go where you want them, so it can be better not to queue them up, but if you're liable to forget it when they're done, then definitely queue them up beforehand. So we just attack with everything now. Send the TMLs, send in the Corsairs. And the nuke will come shortly after. Also, never stall when you're making a nuke, otherwise it will never ever complete. Don't stall mass or power. Actually, any missile. Don't stall mass or power with any of them. Because they won't build otherwise, because well, that's just the world we live in. Just how it works in the engine. Maybe someone will fix it, but I kind of like how it works, to be honest. Anyway, that is it for today. Hopefully I will get back to, hopefully I'll have time to get back to just daily every day, but I only missed a couple days. It's fine. See you all in the next one. Enjoy yourselves.